Hello everyone, welcome to Science Mania. I am Ritika and today we're going to do the class 7th chapter 1 Nutrition in Plants. First we're going to talk about the introduction, then the modes of nutrition in plants, what is nutrition, photosynthesis, other modes of nutrition in plants, saprotrophs, and then we're going to talk about that how are nutrients replenished in the soil. So let's talk about the introduction first. In class 6th, you had learned that food is essential for all living organisms. And you had also learned about the components of food that are carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and fats. These components of food are called nutrition and they are very important for us. All living organisms require food. Plants can synthesize food for themselves, but animals cannot. This means that plants can make their own food, but animals, including humans, cannot make their own food. Plants are the ultimate source of food for every living organism. This means that everyone is dependent on plants for their nutrition. But you may think that the carnivorous animals don't eat plants. Have you ever seen a lion eating a leaf? No, right? But they do depend on plants for their nutrition indirectly. How? The lion eats the rabbit, and the rabbit eats some carrots or the plants. If the plants are not there, then the rabbit will die, and if the rabbit dies, the lion will also have no food to eat. So that is why it depends on plants for its nutrition indirectly. Now let's talk about the modes of nutrition in plants. So we know that every living organism depends on plants for its nutrition directly or indirectly. Plants are the only organisms that can prepare food for themselves by using water, carbon dioxide, and minerals. The raw materials are present in their surroundings. So this means that the materials, the ingredients that the plants use to make their food are present in their surroundings. The materials that they want for their nutrition, for the synthesis of food are present in their surroundings. But what is nutrition? Nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body. So this means that nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and the utilization by the body. How is it utilized by the body? But why do we need nutrients? We need nutrients to grow, to build the body, to repair the damaged parts of the body, to get energy, and to do our daily work. And if we don't have sufficient nutrition, then we'll be like this. But if we have sufficient nutrition, then we'll be like this. So you know that nutrients are very important for us. The mode of nutrition in which organisms make food for themselves from simple substances is known as autotrophic nutrition. Auto means self and trophos means nourishment. So self-nourishment. And animals and other organisms take in food prepared by plants. They are known as heterotrophs. Heteros means other, so others' nourishment. Now I have some questions for you. Where is the food prepared in the plant? Is it only one place where the food is prepared, or is it the whole plant? How is the food prepared? And many more questions. The answer to all of our questions will be given by photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process in which green plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. Why only green plants? Because green plants have a pigment known as chlorophyll that is there in the green plants that helps to trap sunlight. That is why photosynthesis is the process in which green plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. The meaning of photosynthesis in Greek is make with light. What all do we need for photosynthesis? For cooking, we need some ingredients. What are the ingredients we need for photosynthesis? So let's see that. So we need sunlight, we need chlorophyll, we need water, and we need carbon dioxide. And when we have all of these things, the plants can prepare their food. Leaves are the food factories of the plants. Therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaf first. Water and minerals are present in the soil and are absorbed by the roots and are transported to the leaves. So you can see this is the plant. This water is absorbed by the roots and now it's going up to the leaves. Carbon dioxide from air is taken in through the tiny pores on the surface of leaves. Those tiny pores are known as stomata and they are surrounded by guard cells. You can see here are small tiny pores and these skin colored things, they are stomata. They open and they close. The guard cells open and they close. So when they open, carbon dioxide is taken in. The leaves have a green pigment called chlorophyll. It helps leaves to capture the energy of the sunlight. This energy is used to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. Since the synthesis of food occurs in the presence of sunlight. You see, so photosynthesis. So the sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is already present in the leaves. So sunlight is trapped by the chlorophyll. Carbon dioxide is taken from stomata. Water comes to the roots. And when photosynthesis is done, sugar is stored in the plants as their food and oxygen is the byproduct. Sugar is not stored as sugar in the plants. It is converted to starch and then it is stored. And starch is a form of a carbohydrate. The food that is produced during the process is kept as starch. The byproduct is known as oxygen. You may have seen colored leaves, right? Do they do photosynthesis? Because the green pigment chlorophyll is present in the green leaves. Then is it there in these colorful leaves as well? Do they do photosynthesis? How do they get their nutrition? Let's know. Yes, they do photosynthesis. In them, the chlorophyll is hidden behind the colored pigments. This means that the chlorophyll is there, but it is hidden behind the colored pigments. That is why they look colorful. So, in the green leaves, it's chlorophyll. In the carotenoids and the flavonoids, they are in the yellow leaves. The carotenoids are in the orange leaves and the anthocyanins and carotenoids are in the red leaves. Chlorophyll is in all of them, but it's just hidden behind them. Now let's talk about some other modes of nutrition. Till now, we have known about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition and the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Let's talk about some more. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. They cannot make their food. How do they survive and from where do they derive their nutrition? You see this plant? Yes, Do you see a yellow wiry branch structure twinning around the stem and the branches of a tree? This is a plant called Cuscuta, Amarbel in Hindi. It does not have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it's climbing. So you see in this picture, this climbing on this plant. So this plant it is climbed. Now it will take its nutrition from this plant. The plant on which it climbs is called a host, since it takes the nutrition from the host. This type of nutrition is known as parasitic mode of nutrition. So this plant you can see here is known as the pitcher plant. And this jug-like structure or the pitcher-like structure is a modified leaf. The apex of the leaf forms a lid. So this lid-like structure you can see here is the apex of the leaf, and it can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher there are hairs that are directed downwards. So there are small hairs inside the pitcher that are directed downwards. When an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closes and the trapped insect gets entangled into the hair. The lid closes and the insect is trapped. Then the insect is digested by the digestive juices secreted in the pitcher, and its nutrients are absorbed. So the digestive juices are secreted in the pitcher and then the nutrients are absorbed. The pitcher plant is green. It can do photosynthesis as well. Then why does it kill insects? The land in which the pitcher plant grows lacks nitrogen. That is why it catches insects and takes the nitrogen from them. So this type of nutrition is known as insectivorous or carnivorous mode of nutrition. Now let's talk about saprotrophs. But I have an activity for you. For the activity, you need a bread, a spinning bottle, some water, and a seal bag. So first you need to fill the water in the spray bottle, and then you need to take the bread and you need to spray some water on the bread, and then you need to seal it in the seal bag, and then keep it in a dry, damp area. And after 7 to 10 days, you will see some green colored things coming on it like these. This organism is known as fungi. They have a different mode of nutrition. They absorb the nutrients from the bread. This mode of nutrition, in which organisms take in nutrients from dead and decaying matter, is called saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Such organisms with saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. So the organisms which have the saprotrophic mode of nutrition are known as saprotrophs. Some organisms live together and share shelter and nutrition. This relationship is called symbiosis. This is also a mode of nutrition. For example, some fungi live inside the roots of a plant. The plant gives nutrients to the fungus, and the fungus provides water to the plant. So this is symbiosis. Let me give you one more example. For example, someone comes and lives in your house at rent. He or she gives you money and you give him shelter. So this is known as symbiosis. How are nutrients replenished in the soil? You learned that plants absorb minerals and nutrients from the soil. So their amounts in the soil keeps on declining. So the plants absorb minerals and nutrients from the soil. So their amount will be decreased in the soil, right? They will finish because the plant is taking nutrients, it's taking minerals. Fertilizers and manures contain nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, etc. These nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil. So, for the crop that the farmer has sown, the farmer will put the fertilizers. He or she will put the manures. They will contain the nutrients. So, the soil will not decline in the minerals and the nutrients. So we can grow the plants and keep them healthy if we fulfill the nutrient requirements of the plants. Usually, crop plants absorb a lot of nitrogen and the soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. You learned that nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, but plants cannot use it in the matter that they can use carbon dioxide. They need nitrogen in a soluble form. The bacterium called Rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and it can convert it into a usable form. But Rhizobium cannot make its own food. So it often lives in the roots of gram, peas, moong, bean, the dals, and other leguminous plants and provides them with nitrogen. So the leguminous plants, Rhizobium will do the work. For the crops that the farmer has grown, the fertilizers and manures will do the work. But you may be thinking that who goes to the forest and who goes to the forest and gives the nutrition to them? So I would like you to go and research about it and let me know about it in the comments box. Okay? Now, so that's it for today. And now I have some good news for you. I have made a quiz for you on the chapter Nutrition in Plants. You can go to the description box. You will find the link for the quiz that I have made and you will find the link for the notes. So go to the description box. You will find the link there. And if you have any doubts, then please do let me know in the comment section below. So thank you. If you like the video, then hit the like button. Subscribe my channel if you haven't. And share the video with your friends.